Well, Chief, a peaceful night of historical wargaming turned violent.
Well, it looks like the struggle was real.
Chris, are you kidding me? This is my bit.
Oh, I mean, it's a good bit, and you weren't going to do Twilight Struggle.
But, the same glasses, the same jacket? It's the same bit!
It's my glasses and it's my jacket.
But it's my bit.
Hey everybody, welcome out to Rapid Fire Roundup here on the Dice Tower. My name is Chris Yee, and I'm going to be going through 10 games that I've played recently that I wasn't part of the review of. They were reviewed by other people, but I've got thoughts on them that I want to share. So let's go ahead and start off with the games that I enjoyed the least, going all the way up to the games that I enjoyed the most. These are my quick, rapid-fire succession thoughts on them, starting off with Mille Fury. I give this game a 4. I really don't like it. This is a Reiner Knizia game. It's a card drafting game. It has all of these elements that I should really enjoy. When I've been taught the rules, I keep thinking, I like that, I like that, I like this. Let's go! And then partway through the game, I'm just miserable. I'm not having fun with it. It feels like the first player turn order thing is massively important because you draft cards at the same time, and then you reveal them in turn order, and you get to put out your little cool, really good-looking tiles onto all these different spots. But if you are later in the turn order and someone drafts the card that allows them to go to the spot that you drafted a card to go to, now you have to take a garbage spot. And I feel like somehow I always end up with the short end of the stick on this one. I've tried it multiple times. I gave it months in between. Everybody else I know who has played this game likes it, or they played it with me in the same table or at different tables. Everybody enjoys this one, and I don't. So take that with a grain or two of salt and realize that I am the one and only true real opinion that matters. I give Mela Fury a 4, unfortunately. A game that I want to honestly enjoy, and I thought that I would, but I don't. Next up, Applejack. This is a 5 from me. This is an Uwe Rosenberg tile-laying game. It has some good spatial aspects to it. I like making connections of different groups of tiles together. It has some parts of it that I enjoy, but ultimately, the game is really a slog. You have this whole honey economy where you have to pay honey money for tiles to put them onto your board. And then when you make certain connections, you probably make that money back, that honey money back. And it's just uninteresting. As you're going through, you play 2.5 rounds of the game. And ultimately, it's just, I'm done with it after the first round. There's games that do this quicker and faster, and I would rather play any of those. I think Tom compared this to Take It Easy or Take It to the Limit, or any one of those, Karuba. Karuba is a simultaneous tile-laying game thing that has some similar notes to this, and it's faster because it's simultaneous, and it's just more fun. So, Applejack, a 5 from me. Delicious. This is a roll and write game, or a roll and flip cards and draw game. I'm calling it the roll and write genre. This is fun. It's a 6.5. I like the idea of drawing the vegetables in the different troughs and drawing the fruits off to the side, and you trying to make little combos and stuff. It has some good strategic decisions, but ultimately I found it's good, but it's not good enough that I want to keep coming back to it. It's not one that really wowed me. I like the little strategic ways that you can use planter bonuses to fill in whatever you want in certain rows or columns. But outside of that, it's okay. It's good. It's good, just not good enough. So 6.5, just shy of recommending it. Also at a 6.5, Fun Facts. We've had a few party games recently. This was one of them. Fun Facts by Repos, a company that I think does really good party games. I like the game aspect of this a lot. On your players will all look at a prompt, a question, and cooperatively, they're trying to write a number that they feel is a good number for themselves, and then you are trying to take turns placing them out so that, okay, I think that I'm the lowest, and someone else says, okay, well, I'm above that or below that, and you're trying to squeeze yourself in to where you think you're going to create like an increasing number line. It's good. That game part of it is pretty fun. It's the questions, for me, that make or break a party game like this, and unfortunately, enough of the questions kind of break this one for me. There's questions that get a little bit more personal than you might want to ask, than what you might want to answer, depending on the group. Like, how many romantic relationships have you been in the last year? Well, for me, 1 with Wendy, but for other people, maybe they don't want to have that discussion with their game group, with their family. How many alcoholic beverages do you consume in a week? How creative do you think you are? Now, that one doesn't seem too intrusive, but then someone has to wind up on the bottom of that list. And that doesn't feel good. There's a couple of these that are value judgments of yourself, but then you have to value judge yourself against other people's value judgments of themselves, and it gets a little bit hairy. Some of these I enjoy. The questions, a lot of them are good, but enough of them are just kind of awkward like that. And so and a lot of you might be saying, well, I have thick skin, I don't mind that. But does every person in your game group equally feel that way? Or in your family? Is there one person who will silently kind of play the game and feel a little bit awkward about it and not say anything because everyone else is having a funny time? That's very possible with this one. So fun facts, I like it. It's a 6.5 because I can't quite just recommend it because of some of the questions in it. But moving along, let's go to Skate Summer. I give this one a 7. I liked this one. It's a push your luck game where you are trying to play out different trick cards for skateboarding, and you're trying to keep your balance. And every round that you play another trick card out, you roll more dice that will move your balance one side to the other until you wipe out or until you quit. In theory, I like a lot about that. I find that the adding a single die every round is just, the push your luck is almost too quick. I think in this game, it's really easy to wipe out. You can play, in a smart way to try to keep your balance, but at some point it's just too many dice. You will probably wipe out or just have a ludicrously lucky roll. I think that phase is fun. And then going to the second phase where the tricks that you played out allow you to move around this map and collect things. It's all good. I have a lot of fun with this one. I didn't love it as much as other people, but if that sounds cool to you, if you have a little bit of nostalgia for that Tony Hawk Pro Skater type thing, I think Skate Summer is a really good one. So yeah, it gets a 7 from me. Next up, Monolith, a Phil Walker Harding 3D puzzle type game. Phil Walker Harding is a designer that I really like a lot. I really like a lot of his stuff. I've been noticing that he's kind of reusing and recycling some of his mechanisms, which I find very clever, and putting them in different games. This one has a huge aspect of taking a mechanism he used in a game called Neoville from Blue Orange Games, wherein you put a building onto a tile, say in the green area, and you're predicting how many green tiles or green squares big that area will be at the end of the game. Monolith does that with the sides of this cube, this 3D puzzle that you're building up, and I really like it. I like the 3D abstract kind of thing that you're doing. I like moving in a circle to grab the different tiles, but I also really like that he kind of reused this mechanism, and you're doing a lot. You're doing it with the 4 different sides of your cube that you'll have at the end of the game. It has some scoring similar to Baron Park. I like this one. It's not wholly creative and new on its own, but what it does, I think it does really well, has good presentation, looks neat, and it's fun to play. So a 7.5 for me for Monolith. Next up, the Green Team Wins, another party game. This one I give it an 8. This game is also not terribly original. There are other party games that do this idea where there's a prompt in the middle of the table and everyone is writing an answer and then you will reveal it. And you want to write the most common answer at the table. Now, the questions are divided into three types of categories. First, either pick between 2 things. The second one is pick between 3 things. And the last one is fill in the blank. And I think that works really well because you play with 5 of cards of each category. And that breaks up the types of questions that you know that you'll get. I think that's great because, picking between 2 things, that should be pretty easy to say in the majority. Until you get into a huge argument over why everybody picked something else, which is the better bird, penguin or owl. Clearly everyone's going to pick penguin. But are they not going to? And so I should pick owl because these group of people I'm playing with are idiots and wouldn't pick penguin. I'm going to pick owl because I don't think that they'll actually appreciate the beauty and the grace and elegance of penguins. And then everybody writes penguins but you. It's a funny game. The scoring is if you are in the majority. If you're in the majority for the first time, you get a point. If you stay in the majority the next round, you get 2 points. You get 2 points every time you stay, having written the majority answer. But if you fall off and then come back on, you get 1 point. I.e., not great scoring because there's no ways to catch up really if you lag behind. Not great scoring, but this is one of those party games that I think is more pure about the party. You laugh and you razz each other about your answers. You'd say, how come everybody wrote, school blank? Nobody else wrote school bus. Everybody wrote school board. That's so weird. It's just more about the party atmosphere than about the game part of party game. So I like it. It is what it is. The scoring is not why I play this game. The scoring is not why I play a lot of party games. So this one emphasizes the funny and the silly. Next up, Tribes of the Wind. I also give an 8. Tribes of the Wind is a very fun, very tactical game. It's all about the tactics. It's all about utilizing your cards that you have in front of you in a certain order. The cards belong to one of different elemental suits, and every player can see the back is based on an element. And you can see the backs of other players' cards, and you can see what types of elements they have. And the elements represent different types of actions of the game, but also more importantly, you play certain cards that are more powerful if other players don't have certain elements in their hand, or if they do have a lot of them, or if you have more than them. And so the fun tacticalness of this game is saying, if I play this card right now, it's pretty good. But if I play this other one and get rid of a fire elemental first, and then draw up that wind one, then that first card I was thinking about playing, if I play it second, it's stronger now. And so it reminds me of the sequencing of card play that you will do in a game like Reef, the Emerson Matsuchi one, where you say, this card is good to play now. But it'll be better if I do this first, but then that card's not as good, and so it has so many fun decisions. You're building up a board, you are building up your civilization, you're flying on the wind gliders, all that stuff. That stuff is cool. What sells me on this game is the card play. The card play is so fun. I do enjoy building up on the board and completing objectives and stuff, but it's all about the card play. Tribes of the Wind is an 8 from me. Next up, Walk and Roll, particularly with the Korean Wave expansion. The Korean Wave expansion adds a Korean menu to the game, and it bumps up Walk and Roll. I think is a very good, fun roll and write game from a 7 all the way up to an 8. This expansion is so good. It takes a fun dice rolling mechanism where you can roll up to 3 times, and you're rolling different ingredients that you're trying to complete recipes on your menu. In the Korean Wave expansion, the menu has these pictures of the Korean food in there, and so you're completing, a serving of kimchi jjigae or something, and it looks so good, cartoony but fun. I love this theme. This theme is near and dear to my heart. I grew up in a Korean household, and I love Korean food. So seeing that represented in a game is fantastic to me. I think that the menu for this expansion is better than the original one. It's a little bit more mechanically sound, but even just this theming and the way that this theme is applied to it is a big plus for me. So a Walk and Roll Korean Wave gets an 8 from me. And the last game that I'm going to talk about is Revive. Revive gets a 9 from me. It's one of my favorite games of 2022. I think Revive is a big, heavy, smart Euro game. Has lots of different tracks and ways that you can build up your engine. Has board presence, has a little bit of a deck building type thing where you need to balance building out your deck for this round and then for the next round. And then those two halves just swap every round or so. I love what's going on. You can build such a fun, neat engine, make yourself more unique from other players. It has variable player powers in it, but to me, this is one of those games where that's not even that critical. It's the fact that you build up and differentiate yourself over the course of the game that makes you more unique. I really like Revive. Big, heavy, a lot of setup, but I think it's a game that's worth it. One of my favorite games from 2022, as I said, gets a 9 from me. So there you go. Thanks for coming out to another rapid fire roundup with me, Chris, here at the Dice Tower. Hope that you all have yourselves a fantastic day.